Hey, welcome back to Sutter's Fort. My name is Mike Carson, and today we're going to do a little bit more with ropes, things that you can do at home. Okay. Now, one of the problems that happens with ropes occasionally is that they break, and you can go through and say these are two ends of the rope. You can go through, do a quick knot, tie them together. That'll work, it'll hold it, but it'll be big and bulky and it won't go through like the pulleys or the block and tackle. So sometimes instead of tying a knot to get two ropes together, you have to splice it. So we're going to take two ends of a rope that broke and we're going to splice them together to make them kind of thin, but together, okay? Now, if you do this, you're going to need a rope. If you want to do this at home, you're going to need a rope there that'll actually come in with maybe 3 or even 4 strands that you can pull apart like that, okay? Now, I pulled the other end apart, and just so the ends don't keep on fraying out, I've actually put a little piece of tape on it, and that might actually be handy if you do that too. And I've done the same thing on the other end of the rope, okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to put these two together, and then we're going to splice them in. So we'll actually put one of them between two of the other ones, so you end up looking like that. So you got one strand in between two of the other strands all the way around. And in order to make it even easier to splice, we're just going to tie up one end. Give it a little bit of a cord here. Square knot, that'd be fine. Granny knot on the other side. Okay, so you got this side here is open. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take one of them, doesn't matter which one, take it, and you're going to go to the rope, and you're going to give it a little twist, like that, and see how it opens it up? And you're going to take the end of that, and stick it under one of those loops, okay? Then you go to the next one down the line, do the same thing, but you're going to make it go under the next loop. Just like that. And then you go to the next one, you open it up again, and go into the next loop. Okay, so now you're going to pull them nice and tight. And now you go back to the one you started with, skip over one loop, go under the next one. Same thing, take the next one, go over one of the strands, and go under the next one. And the last one, same thing, go over the strand it's resting on, and under the following one. Okay. So we got that side pretty well spliced in. Now we're going to turn it around, take this strand off, and now we're going to do the same thing on this side. So we're going to start with one of them, go over one of the strands, under the next one. Take the following one, go over the strand, and go under. And the third one, over the strand, and under. keep on doing that. Over one strand, under the next one, over one strand, under the next one. Till get all three set in. We can actually roll this in our hands. And now you've got the two sections of rope spliced together. They're not going to come apart, and it's actually thin enough it'll actually go through your pulleys and that, and won't get hung up. And you can actually take scissors, or somebody that knows how to use one, take a knife and cut off the ends, and you can just kind of push them down and look nice and neat and tucked in. All right, for our next splice, what we're going to do is we're actually going to make a loop on the end of the rope. Okay. Now we showed you earlier where you can make a loop on the end of the rope by making a small loop, putting the rope through it, around the standing rope and in, and you end up with a little loop on the end. But now, same thing as with the other one, when we're splicing the rope together, makes kind of a big bulky knot. We want it a little bit smoother, so we're going to splice this end into the main rope. Okay, so we've unraveled the rope. We've got our three strands, and once again, put some tape on the end there that'll keep them from unraveling. Also makes it easier to go in underneath the loops of the rope. And now we're going to bend back and figure out how big of a loop you want. So we're going to want something like that. And now we're going to start by taking the first one farthest to the left. You're going to go to the main rope. You're going to give it a kind of a twist and see how it opens up. And you're going to stick that one right through that loop. Just like that. Let it go all the way down to the bottom. Okay? So now you've got one right through there. Now you go to the next one in line, and you're going to go over that piece that this one went under, and you're going to go under the next one. Open it up and feed that one through. And then you're going to take the third one, go over the top of that strand that your second one went under, and you're going to go under the next one. So, after the first go around, it should look like this. Then you're going to go back to the one you started with, and you're going to go over the next strand and under the following one. And same thing with the next one. Over the strand it's resting against and under the following one. And third one, same thing. Under the strand it's resting against and under the following one. And we're going to do that one more time, and I'll do it a little quicker. So go over and under, go over and under, and go over and under. Just like that. And see, now you've got it spliced in. It's not quite as bulky. It'll work real smooth. Then you can roll it like that, and that'll actually, now this is not going to slip. Okay. Now for our last tie-up or splice, we're actually be making a ring. Okay. And sailors of that would use rings like this. They'd make them out of a little heavier rope, and then you would sew them into the canvas that you use for sails, and sew it in nice and tight and leave the opening that way to have a place to slip a rope through on the sail. So what you need to do is you're going to take your rope, and you're actually going to cut a section maybe about 2 foot long or so, and you're going to pull the strands apart, okay? And do the whole thing, and you'll end up with 3 pieces like this. To make your ring or your circle, you're going to take your strand, you're going to bring up the one end, short end, and you're going to go over the top, under, and you'll notice how it's all crinkly. So when you run your strand through, you're going to just follow those around, okay? Now you'll take the long one now, and we're going to go around clockwise. So just keep on. Go over, through. We go past where the other one is, so now you'll be having like 3 of them on there. All the way till you get to the end. And there you go. You made yourself a nice little ring. And if you want to, you can take this and actually take some like Elmer's glue, pour it all over, glue the whole thing up, and now you've got a quoit that you can use to throw over a sticker that, like the games the kids would play back in those days. So to sum up today, with our knot tying, we're actually splicing today. We showed you how to do a nice loop at the end by splicing. We showed you how to put the ends of 2 pieces of rope together without knotting it, but by splicing it. So it'll be nice and tight and taut. And we've gone through, showed you how to make yourself a nice little rope ring. And these can be any size. So experiment with it, play with it. I'm sure you'll be able to have fun. So from Sutter, this is Mike Carson saying, take care.